Yo!
Hello, Sydney. What's your favorite scary movie?
My name's not Cindy, bro.
What?
Yeah, wrong number.
Oh, then what's your favorite horror rock band?
I don't listen to that shit.
Why not?
Well, what's the point? It's all just stupid. Some scrawny guy dressed up like a bat, dancing around, like a ghoul squirting fake blood. And pretending like that shit's cool, when we all know it's just silly theater kid stuff.
Will you shut up?
Hey, you called me. Now what do you want?
I want to get to know you. Do you have a boyfriend?
No, and I'm not looking for one, so piss off, okay?
No, but I want to know who I'm looking at.
What did you say?
I want to know who I'm talking to.
That's not what you said.
I'm under your workbench.
Well, you know, I'm calling your bluff, okay? Hello and welcome to another Halloween special video. And in today's video, we're gonna take this voice changer and we're gonna see what happens when we turn it into a pedal. It's actually, at least often, super easy to do. A voice changer has a way your voice goes into it and a way the voice comes out. And all you need to do is change that around so you have a plug for your guitar instead of where your voice goes in, and a plug for your amp where your voice comes out. Now we're going to put it into a box and we're going to have a true bypass switch and an LED that lights up when we engage the pedal. So there's a little bit more, but it's super easy. And if you've seen any of my other builds, you can do this, I promise you. And we'll go through this one together. There is another one where you can see ghost face on and it says voice changer deluxe on it or something like that. And I really want that one because it's like the voice of Ghostface, but it's not available in Europe, especially not where I live, and I'm not gonna go to America to get one of these, and the shipping from America is crazy, so we're gonna do it with this one. But if you live in America and you have the voice changer deluxe, go ahead and do that one. It's probably going to be cool and a lot of fun. So yes, let's just open this up together and see what it looks like. Or if I can get it open. It was actually pretty easy. So yeah, here it is. This is the back and this is the front. And up here we have the different voice modes, which we're obviously going to turn into actual knobs that they're actual knobs now too, but we're going to keep them on the pedal. And we have a little back clip here that we don't need. And here we have the lid that we need to open to see what sort of screws we need. So let's just, what sort of screws we need? What the hell am I saying? No, what sort of batteries this takes. And this takes, hopefully 9 volt. Yes, it takes 9 volt. So we are not going to have to do any jiggery pogery on that front. We have a 9 volt here. That's really nice. I'm going to make a video on a super easy way to do something similar to this. Or rather what I think you should do to this if you have a voice changer or a toy or something, and it doesn't come with 9 volt, but it comes with like 4 volt or something like that, something less, and you need to step down your electricity. So yes, look for that video in the near future. It's gonna come after Halloween, but we don't have to focus on that now because this is a 9 volt. So yeah, let's just jump into opening this pedal up and look at what's inside. But there's probably not that much. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is remove the screws. There are 4 on the back, minus the one holding the plate for the battery compartment, but never mind that one for now. And the two up here. Something like that. And now we should be able to just lift this off. And there we go. And we have some cables right here that are Ugh, why do people do that? So annoying. Look at this. Okay, that doesn't matter that much. It's annoying because I want to take this off. Ugh, look how gross this looks in here. Yeah, let's just cut those two. And we know that that's the in. And then let's see if we can get the rest of this out. Oh, two more screws. I don't know why I didn't see them. But that's pretty good. Then we know that if we want to screw this down inside of the pedal so it doesn't flop around, we have two places where we can do that. And yeah, now we can just almost just lift this out. Will the speaker come with us, or do we have to break it out? We have to break it out, but just a little bit. There's a little bit of hot glue holding it in place right there. And right here under the LED. So we should be able to just lift all of it out like so. And we can put this to the side and put the screws in and stuff. Okay, so this is going to get cut out and be the controls for the pedal. Basically, instead of having control knobs, we'll have these 4 little switches. And yeah, we're probably gonna I don't know, maybe hot glue it in place. I don't know. We have this here, which we are not gonna make a hole for anything like that, because it's just gonna, this is just gonna be the power for the pedal, which means we're gonna remove this battery clip because I don't see it being necessary. And here we have 2 LEDs. So the question is if these are the clipping, maybe. Because this board is not a lot of things on it. Okay, so before we start messing with all of these things and try to figure out what to do with it, we have to think about the fact that we're going to put it in a box and we need to do something about the box. Here I have a box, and I'm actually super happy because I didn't think I could find something with a cool finish like this, and I did. So yeah, take a look. And I don't know. Anyway, what I did is I put a piece of tape and I measured out the middle and made a center line. I put the tape so that this line here is matching this right here, so that if I put a piece of tape up against this piece of tape, it's going to be flat. And I did the same thing on this, which is the original box. You might remember it. And this tape here, I've done the same thing with this, so it's the same from the edge here down there, and I have a center line. So now I took a razor blade and cut out the holes. So now I can just take this piece of tape and carefully I can try to pull it off. Well, I got it off almost in one piece. So now I can line it up like so, and there we have our holes. And if you have, for example, a light colored box, you can just take a permanent marker and fill these in. But if you're like me and you have a dark colored box, then you can take a white pen, like something like Tipex, and you can fill in these like so. And now I'm just gonna drill a hole, something like that. And now I'm just gonna drill a hole that is a little bit smaller than the width of these. And then I'm going to take a file and I'm going to use that file to just shape out these holes so that they are the same size as in the original box. And then I'm going to just go back and forth and put in the electronics with the bottom and make sure everything fits. And after I've done that, I'll be back. Okay, so here's the box right now. You can see the holes. And the controls fit. I've tried it. Just take the knobs off. Obviously you have to measure everything and cut them out that way. But if I put one of the knobs in here, I can see. And hopefully you can see it too. That they fit. And we're just about ready to start putting things in, but we have a problem, and that is if I try to put this in here, it doesn't work. But we're in luck, because if you look at this, and I don't know if you can see that, but you should be able to see the shimmering parts and the dull parts. And this dull area here is just wings that are created so that this can be screwed in place. So we can actually just put this up here. Maybe we can actually even put it into these holes so that we know that it works. And we can just see that, okay. Take a pen and we draw like right over these holes here, maybe. Something like that. That's where we can remove all of that. We don't need to keep that. So I'm just quickly going to do that, and then we can continue working. And just so now it fits, but we need to make spacers to put on the sides right here, and they need to be the height up the upper side of this knob's flat side thing. I don't know if that makes any sense, but we can very quickly take a measurement and see what we are working with. We hold it up there and we are at 7.37 millimeters. So I'm gonna create just a tiny little block of wood or something to hold this up, because we don't want these knobs to be squeezed in. We want them to be free. Okay, so I have these tiny little spacers here, and they are just a little bit over the knobs surface of them. So I can put these in and move them about freely. Now I'm going to glue these in, so I'm pulling two of the knobs down and the two in the middle up. I'm just going to take some super glue and put some on this surface right here, like so. And then I'm just going to try to align them inside of here so that the two that goes up and the two that goes down, and that they are not exactly in the bottom but very close, so that I know that if I push them up, they're gonna be pushed up, and if I push them down, they're gonna be pushed down. And I'm just gonna hold them like this just for a second or two so that the super glue has the time to react. Okay, so it's glued in place, but I'm not super sure that that's gonna hold for super long, so I'm just gonna secure it with a little bit of epoxy clay. Yeah, just smear it around and make a somewhat nice connection with the top and bottom and all of the sides, something like that. And it dries. It takes 24 hours for it to harden completely, but it takes like 10 minutes for it to be where we can continue working without having issues. So it's in place now, and yeah, I'm gonna go take a break and be back in 10 minutes. Okay, so here's the pedal now, and I just added all the hardware, and as you probably can see, there is a little bit of a red circle around some of the parts, and that's just cosmetic because I have a bunch of red circles that I can put on things. It's just basic washers, nothing special, just telling you because I know someone is gonna ask when they're like, hey, what the hell is that? So let's start off by removing some things that we don't need. Like example, we're not gonna need this thing right here, the speaker, so let's just heat it up and pull those two wires away. And then we have this right here, and I'm just gonna heat this up and remove this switch, which we can reuse for something else, maybe in my DIY Rose pedal, or Ross I think it's called actually. So here we have the speaker wires, and here we have the input wires, right? Yes. So what we need to do is what we always do, which is first we're going to pre-tin a couple of things just because we need to get that out of the way, and I'll be back. But the connections we need to pre-tin are the two connections on the jacks, the input jacks, the two connections on the DC jack, this thing up here, and it's the bigger one here and the last one. Ignore the middle one. And then all of these connections right here on the switch, they need to be tinned as well. And it's super easy. You just hold your soldering iron up to them so that they get a little bit of heat into them, and then you just feed some of your solder and you just fill up them with solder, just like I'm doing right here. So now we can start working. I put in the LED, just held in place with a little bit of super glue, and I put a piece of tape so that the two connections wouldn't break. And it's just one of the LEDs that came with the toy, so that's why the legs are so long, because that's how it was inside. And I don't really feel like changing anything, just, you know, just because. Maybe a little bit lazy of me, but then again, it's Halloween, so yeah, it's the time of year for being naughty or something. Or is that Christmas? I don't know. Anyway, down here we need to connect a little jumper cable, and I'm gonna use one of the legs that I cut off a resistor in another build, and some of you might not like that I do that. And again, it's Halloween, it's the time of year to be a little bit naughty. No, but seriously, if you feel like that's not good, which, I mean, it's true that it isn't necessarily a good idea because you could short something out, but I'm fairly confident that nothing is going to touch it. The next wire we need to connect is going to be from this first leg up here to the middle last leg here. And we're going to use a little bit of wire for that. And the reason why is because we don't want it to short out on anything. Which it might do because we have this other wire here. So I'm just going to heat this up and press in this tiny wire. And then I'm just going to put this wire into this upper leg here. Now, here is the little speaker thing. And we're going to attach that wire over here, but I feel like that wire is a little bit too short, so I'm going to switch it out for one that is a little bit longer. So this one that goes to the microphone is getting replaced with soldering in a longer wire, and then I'm just going to pull this longer wire all the way over here to the switch, and I'll go up to the switch like so. And that's where I'm going to cut it off. So something like that. And always cut them a little bit longer because you want to give yourself some wiggle room to move things around. But also, if the wires are really tight inside of your pedal and everything is kind of pulling, then, you know, if something moves, you know, like an input jack or something like that, a wire might break. But anyway, where we connected the first yellow wire, which is the first leg on the first row. That's where this wire is getting connected. Now we're going to pull it to the side. And then we're going to take our speaker wire, which is this wire here, and that's also very, very short. So we're going to replace that one as well. And we're going to take this speaker wire and we're going to pull it over to where we want it to go, or at least approximately where we want it to go, which is the last rows first, and just cut it a little bit longer, and then we just put this wire into last rows first connection, just like so. Ground wires that are here needs to be connected to their place. So we have this ground wire from the speaker right here, and it needs to go to the input jack's ground connection. So I'm just going to heat it up to loosen this little speaker, and I'm just going to connect it right here. And the same thing goes for this other ground wire right here. It's a little bit fiddly to get it out from underneath all of these things, but there it is. And now we're just going to connect it right here as well. So there we have some of the wires, and just quickly go through a little bit of the connections, just because I know that it's a hard thing to film these things, and I'm working on trying to come up with a solution to that. But anyway, the input wires here from the microphone and the speaker over there, tiny wire that connects these two, and tiny wire that connects these two. That's what we've done so far. And we have a red wire there, but that's not important right now. The next thing we're gonna do. Okay, so the plus wire from the input jack is gonna get connected to the middle leg on the first row. And the output is exactly the same. It's just the middle leg on the last row that is getting connected. And now we're basically done with the switch. Okay, so we have 2 wires coming out here. Actually, we have 3 wires, but we're gonna take these 2 ground wires, the one from the LED and the one from the pedal circuit, and we're gonna twist them together to create one super wire. And then we'll put a little bit of tin just to make that connection solid. And then we'll connect this to the big leg right here. And now we stand in front of our biggest challenge, which is connecting this red wire here. It's gonna be super annoying to try and get it to its right place, but we're gonna try. See if we can't do this. Well, we'll definitely not be able to do it, and you seeing me actually do it, because my hands are gonna be so much in the way. It's not even funny how much they're gonna be in the way, but hopefully you understand what I'm pointing at. So this leg right here, we need to get in there. We're just gonna take a wire and strip it back, and we're gonna try to get it in there together with the other red wire that we just connected. And then we're gonna feed this through the entire pedal, and this wire will get connected right in to the middle row's first leg, or at least it will if I can get the wire to do what I want it to. Something like that. So in the middle leg we're gonna put a wire, and when I say the middle leg now, I just mean the middle of the middle, the most middle thing you can ever think of. So this middle wire here and this plus wire on the LED are gonna get connected, but in between these 2 wires we are gonna have a resistor. So let's just twist a little bit of wire around the resistor like so, and then just glue everything together with some solder. And then, just because I feel like a good boy today, who's done everything right except a few things, we're gonna pull this shrink tube that I put on the cable before putting things in place, and we're just gonna pull it over so that everything is covered, and then we can just use our soldering iron to heat it up, get it to shrink down a little bit. Here it is, and it's looking good, and we're gonna just tug this in like so it's out of the way, and now everything should work. Okay, so here's the pedal right now, and everything I've shown you is the correct way to do stuff. But if you're going to take this voice changer that I am holding and that I'm using, the one with 4 knobs like this, then there are certain things that you're going to have to do to get around this particular one, because it's a little bit different than any other voice changer that I've ever worked on. And I think the reason why it's a little bit weird is because this is built for many different companies. I've seen online this box in a lot of different colors with different voice changer logos and different brands, all of those things differently, and also sometimes with an extra control. They are all the same thing. They're just pretending to be different things. You can, for example, notice it very obviously here at the ribbon connection, how there is a hole for an extra. So all the circuits, everything is the same. I think the only thing they do is change out the diode here, which is the clipping diode. It's kind of weird how they use an LED that isn't mounted to the circuit board in a strange way. And the reason why I'm saying that it's a clipping diode, because you might think, oh, it's just there for the effect. The pedal doesn't work without it. I had to attach this, and the way I did it to get it to work is I put the plus side on the plus on the out and the minus on the out of the jack. And you have to do that. You have to have this LED there. I tried to have it on the circuit here where the connections are on the PCB, but then it didn't work. I don't know why. I also showed you that I put a little wire from first leg on the first row to the last leg on the middle row. And you have to not have that wire there, because otherwise this LED will start this LED. I don't really understand why it does it, but you can't have that wire, so you have to take that off. And the last thing you have to do, and remember these things are for this voice changer, you will run into other problems with other ones, or it will work just like pedal. The last thing you have to do is you have to insulate this jack, which is the out jack, so that it's not grounded to anything else but through this ground wire here. And the reason why is because the way this is designed is for a plastic enclosure where the grounds are all separated. And so you have to drill this hole a little bit bigger. So I had to re-drill it, and then I had to put a bunch of electrical tape on it and a new spacer ring there, so you can see how that has that red ring there, which this doesn't have, and then this plastic red ring here, just like that one. And that's just so that this one isn't grounded to the enclosure and therefore grounded back to this one. I have a little bit of tape on this one just because it's gonna rattle around in here and cause issues, so I hope that that will help. But I'm thinking I will try to change this out because it's the guitar signal is too weak to make this work in this particular one. So I'm thinking I'm gonna see what I can change this out for to make it work better for me. I'm also thinking that I might have to put in some sort of boost pedal or something. I don't really know. I'm gonna try to find something, but that's gonna be another video. That's what you have to do if you want to take this particular voice changer and make it into a pedal. So now you know. But everything I showed you should have worked, and it has done in other pedal enclosures. I mean, in other voice changer into pedal things that I've made. So you can still use that if you're building something else, so everything isn't a waste just because of these little changes I had to do. But yeah, if you have the same one, this one, and when I say the same one, I mean even if you have it in another color and with more controls and different LEDs, and I think it's just, you know, trying to make you think that they are different when they really aren't different. They have different colored LEDs, so they might change the sound a little bit of them, but I don't think it would. But yeah. Anyway, there's only two things left to do, and that is to attach the back and one final little detail here on the front, and then we can demo it. So let's go. And that detail is a tiny little ghost face on the pedal. This one is made out of Super Sculpey and epoxy clay, and I think it looks really nice, and I think it ties the whole thing together neatly. And the LED is hidden underneath, so I'll let you guess what that is. This is the end of the video. We're gonna jump over to playing this and seeing and hearing what it sounds like, and hopefully you'll like it. And if you do, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Liking the video lets me know that you appreciate the video and the time I spend making them. So I really appreciate if you like the video. But until next time, stay awesome and cool, and go and change one of these into a pedal. Voice changers are very simple and easy little circuits, so it can be a lot of fun and make some fun creative moments happen. Happy Halloween! Woo!